everyone, Salbonan, Bonjour, Dumelang, Molweni. Welcome to MRM Sport. I'm your host, Ronald M. Ah man, English Premier League is finally back. I can't believe I'm saying that mid-September, but it is back. Of course, we had a short break because of the death of the Queen in England, and all games were suspended last game week, so we didn't have any Premier League games. But then football is a gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving. We did have Champions League football. We did have a good week of football. And of course, I can't forget Europa League and Europa Conference League. Europa League, just because Manchester United, the great Manchester United, has downgraded Ronaldo, CR7, Mr. Champions League himself, to scoring penalties against Sheriff. Yeah, so Sheriff, for those who don't know, sheriffs are normally, let me not get into it. Let me offend some people's churches and religions. But if you're in Africa, especially southern part, you know the nickname of who is sheriff, religious-wise. But man, I can't believe the GOAT is scoring and doing a sue in Europa League, man. Nah, Manchester United. No. The Red Devils, no. You can't do that to the GOAT. You can't be starting the GOAT in the group stages of Europa League. No. Anyway, let's jump right into the English Premier League game week 8. It's game week 8. Man, time is flying. It's almost a third of the match is gone now. Almost a third. Game week 8, right before the international break kicks on. I'm not a fan of these international breaks. I know the World Cup is coming up and countries have to try and get the players sorted out, have to play some friendly matches, but couldn't we just run with club football till the World Cup? Can you stop maybe a week or 3 weeks before the World Cup for countries to play their friendly matches, and then we get on with the World Cup? But anyway, enough of that. As you know, this game week we only have 7 matches. Yeah, it's normally 10, but then 3 of the fixtures were cancelled. I believe that's Liverpool versus Chelsea because of, I think it has to do with policing. Leeds versus Manchester United, that's always a beefy match, a rowdy-ish match. Then you get Crystal Palace and Brighton, which were cancelled way before the said events of the Queen passing on. So only have 7 game weeks this game week. For those who play FPL, please do get your teams in order. Just check the players who don't have game weeks, especially Liverpool assets, Chelsea assets, Manchester United assets, Brighton assets, and also Crystal Palace assets. Right, let's jump into the first match. It's this Friday on the 16th of September. Okay, in my time zone, the CAT time zone, Central African time zone, the match kicks off at 9 p.m. It is Aston Villa versus Southampton, and also kicking at the same time, Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. Aston Villa, Southampton. Southampton are a weird team. They can lose, they can beat anyone. They're just like, they're a yo-yo team. They don't go down, I don't ever think they anywhere near relegation battle. They normally play good football first half of the season, then fall off second half, or vice versa. And they normally get a trapping of 7, 6, 8, 5. But I don't think that will happen this game week. Aston Villa had a good result last game week versus, it's been so long now, versus Manchester City, where I think if that goal has stood, they're going to win the match 2-1, but then it ended up being a 1-1 draw with Manchester City. Aston Villa are at home, and I think this game will be a draw. It will be a draw because Gerrard needs to pick up points. These are the teams that Gerrard has to beat if he's not going to join Tuchel in the unemployment office day. So I think Gerrard needs to get a victory. And Southampton, away from home, I would give them a chance. I'll give them a fighting chance because they don't have the pressure of the fans, even though they did manage to defeat Chelsea at home. But away from home, I definitely think Southampton can be a dangerous side. I think in this match, of course, Aston Villa has good players. I'll give them that. But then I see a draw written on this match. If I'm a betting man, I think I'll put a draw on Southampton, on Aston Villa versus Southampton. I would definitely put a draw, maybe a score draw. I can't see a winner between these two. I don't think, because on this game, Aston Villa have to have possession, and both teams like playing with possessions. But Aston Villa being a home side, they can't rely on a counter. Against City, you can sort of understand when teams just sit off and need on a counter. Even if you're a home supporter or you're playing at home, you can understand when teams sit off and play on a counter. But then at home against a Southampton side, that is not the best in the world. Aston Villa have to step up, and I can only see a draw because Southampton, I think, will get a goal. They normally get goals in their matches. I think they will get a goal, so I can see a score draw here. And then kicking off at the same time again, Nottingham Forest versus Mitrovic-led Fulham. Forest are at home, and the last time I watched Forest at home against West Ham, they won the match. The supporters were right behind the team, and even though they brought in like 21 players, which is like almost 2 new teams of players this past transfer window. I think the break because of the death of the Queen, Nottingham Forest should have benefited from that. The players should have gotten enough time in the training session without any midweek games to actually gel as a group and come up with a strong 11. Fulham are a competitive side. Fulham will play competitive football. Mitrovic has proven already that he will get goals if you give him the slightest of chances. What I like about Mitrovic this season is he doesn't miss too many chances. Give him 1 or 2 chances, he buries one of them, which is what you want from your striker, especially if you're a team like Fulham, who won't get like 10, 20 chances in a game, like the big 6 teams. So I think, again, this game might end up being a draw. But if I'm going to lean towards Fulham away from home, I think they've shown against Arsenal and Spurs that they can stay in games and they can give themselves a chance to get something out of the game. So I'll go for a Fulham, maybe a 2-1 win. I think for Nottingham Forest, with so many players, yes, turning current football is good for players to bond and develop systems and understanding amongst each other. But then when you play an actually competitive match again in the Premier League, it's a completely different story. And Fulham have been together for a longer time now. They have been together for a longer time. From the Championship, it's basically almost the same squad that came up. I know they added a few players. They added Ben Leno from Arsenal. They added the player from Manchester United, Pereira. Yeah, I think that's Pereira, the Brazilian. They have been looking good. So again, I'll give it to Fulham, maybe a 2-1 win. And then our Saturday, the 17th fixtures, kicking off at 1:30 CAT time, with Wolverhampton versus Manchester City. Wolves have this week announced the return of Diego Costa. As a Chelsea fan, Costa was one of the number 9s who actually shined for us after Drogba. Let's not get into the case of the number 9s at Chelsea, but then Costa did do well. Diego Costa is back in the Premier League with Wolverhampton. I'm sure everyone by now saw that that release video. It's called an announcement video, yes, where he was watching the Wolves, and it came out after that he was actually scared of the Wolves. But Costa being Costa, it did look like a Wolf that time. And against City, okay, Wolves do play good football. Play good football. They like their mid is I'm actually impressed. Everyone is impressed with their mid. They have good players in the mid. Moutinho, I can't believe it's still going on. Then they have his name is escaping me now. The Portugal guy, Ruben Neves. Is it Ruben Neves? Yeah, I think it's Ruben Neves. A great. I'm actually surprised no one went for him in the transfer market. I think it would look good in a Chelsea shirt. Definitely bring more to a Chelsea shirt. I think if I were to look at replacing Jorginho, I wouldn't mind going with Ruben Neves, even though they're slightly different, but at least he does control matches. He's good on the ball, and then he's that wonderful strike from outside of the box. You always know every season he's going to score maybe 2 or 3 of those kind of goals. So, but then they play against the City. Cyborg Holland, I'm calling it Cyborg Holland, a Cyborg Holland team. That guy can stop scoring, hey? Holland, he scored against Dortmund, midweek, Champions League. A kung fu kick kind of goal, the Zlatan kind of goal, just up in the air. Kaba! That's me trying to imitate the kung fu guys, yeah. He scored that kind of a goal and City won 2-1 against Dortmund. And with City, they will create chances. Pep always knows teams are going to sit back, try to defend, and I'm sure he works on those tactics every training session. He knows how Wolves are going to play. We all know Wolves won't try to dominate the position of the game. They'll just hit on a counter after counter after counter. And I don't know if that will suit Diego Costa, like I said, because his legs, I'm sure, are gone, and he's quite an old man now. He's no longer the Costa. I still think in a physical battle, he can bully more than half of the defenders in the Premier League. But then, if the team is going to play counter-attacking football, it'll be interesting to see how will they start him in this game, or will he come maybe in the 60th or 70th minute to try and get something out of the game. But I would definitely go with City. I think even though Pep likes rotating players and they have played Champions League football during the week, I don't think it would make sense for Pep to rotate players when his international break coming up next. I don't see Pep doing that. I think he'll pick up his strongest 11. Anyway, anyone is part of the strongest 11 in City. But I think Haaland will step up front. Obviously, your main characters, his steering will start. De Bruyne is there, is going to start. I think if I'm Pep, I'll definitely start Phil Foden ahead of Jack Grealish. I can't see how Jack Grealish fits into the City team yet. He's no longer the guy from Aston Villa. For me, I think he's still struggling a bit to adapt to how City plays. I think we would have done better in a Chelsea. Honestly, I think Jack Grealish should have suited Chelsea better. Because in a City side, which you have to constantly move the ball and pass the ball, you don't have to keep the ball for so long. And already De Bruyne, who is the maverick of the team, who is the maestro of the team, I don't think Jack Grealish works that well. So I think it might be 4-4-10, De Bruyne, and Haaland starting up. I think you might start with that front three. I know De Bruyne doesn't normally play in the front three, but then I think Pep would like to control the midfield in this game, and so I can see Bernardo Silva, or even if De Bruyne plays in the three midfielders, Bernardo Silva might start, or he might even go with Mahrez. But I would definitely give this game to City. I don't think City will just walk through Wolves. Like I said, Wolves are a very competitive side, so I'll definitely go for maybe a 3-1 City. I think Wolves will get a goal because City are leaking goals. Even though they're winning matches, they are conceding goals. I would definitely go with the 3-1 Manchester City away win. And then move on to Newcastle versus Bournemouth. The team I think everyone hates to play now has to be definitely Newcastle. Outside of the top six, I can see teams playing Wolves and getting a result. I can see teams playing West Ham getting a result, playing Leicester getting a result. Newcastle are the new team no one wants to play against. They did get a point against a City where they were 3-1 up at some point. They did concede very late, controversial goal. Not the goal was in control, but then in added time versus Liverpool. And I think for me against Bournemouth, there's only one winner in this match. It has to be Newcastle. They're at home. The stadium, it to be rocking. Definitely not rocking. The new signing, Isak, looks on fire. Definitely on fire. If St. Maximin turns it on, then it's a sorry state for Bournemouth, because I definitely expect them to lose. So without wasting so much time, Bournemouth, the side which came up and they didn't spend that much money in the transfer market, the players don't look that confident. Although they did come back against Nottingham Forest, I remember, and they ended up winning 3-2 from 2 goals down. So you never count them out, but then I'll definitely go with the Newcastle win. And then the last game on Saturday, for that day, is Tottenham Hotspur versus Leicester. The Spurs that lost against Sporting in the Champions League. Man, that was a funny way to lose a match. Like 2 quick goals, just like that. Just like that. A misfiring Spurs, the Spurs which are not playing the best of football right now. You get Son, who's non-existent at the moment. Kane is doing Kane things. Kane will always get a goal. Then Kuliveski and Richarlison for me, especially Richarlison, for me the most dangerous players Spurs have at the moment. They look more lively, and with Spurs being home against the Leicester side, who are short of pride, who seems like things are not looking so rosy for Leicester. I think even though Tottenham are in a bad place, I haven't seen Tottenham play good football this season already. I've said in my previous videos, I think Spurs are still off form a bit, even though they're picking up results. They haven't lost in the league yet. The team is not playing good football. The midfield for me, I think, is too... The players there, okay, I won't say similar, but then they don't have a creative side to them. If Kane doesn't drop deep to create, no one creates for Spurs. Yes, the fullbacks can get in the box, they can whip in balls, they can pull back balls, but then they don't have that midfielder who's there for creating. The trial also didn't work out. They moved on Christensen. I was surprised they didn't get him back before he went to Manchester United. They don't have that kind of midfielder, and I'm afraid for this match, with the way they played midweek against Sporting, if Leicester get it right and just sit back a bit, try to defend properly for a change, and hit on the counter with Barnes and Jamie Vardy trying to break through, even pass on Daka if he plays an Iheanacho, they have pace in them, I think they can hit Leicester. They can hit Spurs, sorry. If you get Maddison on the ball and Tielemans on the ball, and if indeed he comes back to his CDM position instead of playing in the back four, I definitely can see Leicester getting something out of this game. And like I said, Spurs are not in a good place right now. If I'm to predict this game, I would definitely go with the Spurs win. But then, no, let me not do that. I'm not going to go with the Spurs win. The way they've been playing, I think Leicester has had time to actually gather in the training ground for almost 2 weeks now without playing any football. I can definitely see Leicester getting something out of this game. I'm going to go for a shocker result here. I will definitely go with the Leicester 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur. I think this will be the first home defeat and the first defeat on the Premier League for Tottenham Hotspur. I can definitely see Leicester starting to play now and pick up points. So I will go against what my mind is telling me and go with Tottenham losing this game 1-2 to Leicester City. And then on Sunday the 18th, we have Brentford, Ivan Toney's Brentford versus Gabriel Jesus Arsenal. An interesting match. Both teams are on form. Both strikers are on form. Both strikers are playing, I think, their best football as of yet. Ivan Toney this season is on fire. I don't know if he's playing for the World Cup spot. He has been called to the England lineup. That is good to see his hard work being rewarded with a call up to the national team. It's difficult to call this game with Brentford being at home. Arsenal proving that they can actually beat these small teams. Okay, these so-called small teams around, with all due respect, but it's still difficult to call. I can see this game having lots of goals. I don't think Brentford will give up chances to teams. We have seen before Brentford does give up chances. I don't think they've had a clean sheet this season so far. And Arsenal, the last time Arsenal had a clean sheet, I think it was against Bournemouth. Yes, it was against Bournemouth. And both striking forces are scoring goals. It's actually more difficult to call when I think about it now. It can go either way, this game. It can. And Arsenal, lucky for them, the Champions League, the Europa League, look at me promoting Arsenal to Champions League football. The Europa League fixture called off against, I forgot. It was a Fenerbahce, I'm not sure. But I think it was if not Netherlands team, I think, yeah. It's difficult to call, but I think I'll go with a score draw. Obviously, I would love Arsenal to lose as a Chelsea fan, but again, I can't see them defeating Brentford. It's difficult, man. Brentford at home, I think that place will be rocking. It will be rocking, and I can only see Brentford trying to get something out of this game, trying to push it one more time before the international break kicks on. And like I said, I think I will go with a score draw here, maybe a 2-2 draw. I know it's a wild prediction, but I don't see Arsenal beating this Brentford team. It's a London derby after all. I can't see. So I think, yeah, it's a 2-2 draw. And then we move on to Everton versus the last match of the game week. Everton versus West Ham United. Everton under Lampard, they look like a hustling side. I'll use that phrase with all due respect. They don't look like a side that will definitely defeat any team or just get a 3-goal, 3-0 victory. But then they will fight. They will show that dedication, which I think Lampard demands and wants from his team now. He knows he's not coaching the best talent in EPL. He knows he's coaching quite an average Everton-looking side. If you think about it, for the past 5 seasons, Everton have got good players on paper, but then they haven't produced. And Lampard, I think, with the squad he has, is trying to get something out of them. I'll be honest with you, as a Chelsea fan, starting off the season, I was a bit worried for Lampard. I really thought maybe he might be fired or Everton will go down. But then the last 3 or 4 game weeks, I've seen him come back from it. I've seen them fight. I've seen them push teams hard. I remember, I think it was the last game week against Everton, against Liverpool, where it was a derby and it was a 1-1 draw derby. Was it a 1-1? Yes. No, it was a nil. Yeah, nil. Sorry. I think I'm confusing it now a bit. But then they did get a positive. I remember they got a point. I remember them getting a point from that match, and they did fight for that point. It's not like they got like, yes, Liverpool hit the bar in the post, I think twice or thrice, but then Everton did fight for that point. They did fight to get that point. And West Ham, they're starting to pick up pace. They are starting to play football again. But then away from home, David Moyes at Goodison Park, I don't think West Ham will go there and win. I can see Everton pulling a shocker against Moyes. I can see Everton getting a 2-1 victory in this match. Maybe I'm being biased towards Lampard, but I think Everton will get something out of this game. I think they will get their first victory of the match. And West Ham will... I can't believe West Ham are still down there, you know. I expected them right now to be already in 8th, 9th position, but I can see them suffering another loss against Lampard's Everton. So yeah, I mean, again, I wish I could have seen Liverpool versus Chelsea this game week. I could have seen Man United versus Leeds. That's always a fiery match, interesting match. Normally a good outcome, and Leeds are playing good football. I would have seen that taste for Ten Hag, a different kind of taste from what Arsenal and Liverpool gave him. I would have loved to see Crystal Palace and Brighton without Graham Potter, Crystal Palace with Patrick Vieira, Black Excellency. I would have loved to see that match. I definitely love, but then they were postponed, they were called off. So, like I said in the start of the video, only have 7 matches this game week. And I hope they will give us good football before the international break, because it's not going to be a good time watching these UEFA what nations. Like, nah, it's not that tournament. Yes, it's a better friendly, it's a glorified friendly. National teams have to prepare for the World Cup in November, but I would have loved for just Premier League football to just run through, man, till the World Cup. Anyway, people, those are my predictions. These are my predictions for the game week. I hope you all will enjoy football. Yes, we will have a video to react to the results, to give you a review of the matches, how the team played, if there are any shockers, any stinkers, and which team will light a lighter for them, a team which will perform badly. You know, I think I'll watch this game week stress-free because Chelsea are not playing. I'll be just absorbing and enjoying the gift that keeps on giving, which is the Premier League. This is your host, Ronald M, signing out. Cheers.